Okay, you know what the time of the month is. That means we're gonna
Yep,
go through.
time up for me. I'm bleeding all over the place,
I shouldn't
people.
have started off with that, should I? Whenever there's a WWE pay-per-view coming up, we always have to talk about the previous TNA pay-per-view because they always shove that in right beforehand.
I
Uh,
always shove it
One
in
week
beforehand.
before. 1 week. It's always a week.
I always
always.
shove it in a week before, let it settle.
So that way people that want to order the WWE one go, I don't know if I have the money for both of them, so I'll just wait and not order the TNA one. But we had no surrender 2012 because it's 2012. Let's go through the review here. Now, we all watched this, so we can actually talk about it. First things first, we had the Bound for Glory Series semifinals. Jeff Hardy against Samoa Joe. Jeff Hardy wins via pinfall. Meh. Okay, opener.
I actually missed this match. I had just come back from being out and I realized that the pay-per-view was on. I turned it on and what I got was the bell ringing and Jeff Hardy's theme song playing. I'm like, oh, well, at least I figured out the winner of the first semifinal match. I never got around to seeing it, so I'll take your word for it. Was it any better than the Impact match that they had the week before, or is it pretty much on par with it?
I didn't watch Impact. I don't know.
Okay, so
It's watch the same
Basically,
amount that I watch for WWE pre-shows, where it finally starts
okay.
loading when it goes, you know,
Because I seen their match that kind of led to this match. They had like a match on Impact before the pay-per-view, and it was actually pretty good, solid TV match. So if it was anywhere near that, I'd say it'd be a pretty decent opener. But I never seen it, so I kind of can't comment. I seen the bell ring.
was that
it
fun?
was a good match, and it was on par with the Joe versus Hardy on the Impact afterwards. But all I can say is it was Jeff Hardy winning. Ugh.
Well,
Not a
that
fan,
was
not a fan. Yeah,
spoilers. You'll figure out more about that later.
yeah,
Jeff Hardy winning.
I'm not a fan of Jeff Hardy as a wrestler. I'm sorry to say this, it still bugs me the fact that the dude fucked up on a major pay-per-view and treated the world title like a piece of shit. So, yeah,
You mean you
but
weren't a big fan of the face title?
I wasn't a big fan of him getting drunk and going into the
What do
ring.
you mean? Are you talking about the purple transvestite championship?
The shit face
Not just
championship?
that,
We're all
it's also the
we're
fact
all
that he
talking about.
wrestled Sting
Yes.
while intoxicated, if everyone remembers that one.
Awful.
Yeah, so Jeff Hardy could go suck my knob. Anyway, next one.
That moved into the Bully Ray versus James Storm one, and WWE Morrison SES, one of the frequent commenters on Smack Talk, totally called out here that Bully Ray was going to win with Bobby Roode hitting James Storm with the bottle and doing that whole thing. I'm okay with that. I mean, James Storm against Bobby Roode makes sense for a Bound for Glory match, and if you're not going to have James Storm win the Bound for Glory, then you have to have him
You
lose,
gotta have him
obviously.
yeah, and if you're not gonna have him win and be in the main event of Bound for Glory, you gotta have him be in some sort of big feud.
Yeah.
It's kind of been a slow burner throughout the entire year. Like it'll pick up and then it'll kind of settle off. I don't think they've really crossed paths since lockdown though, so maybe they're looking for some big blow off at their biggest pay per view of the year. It makes sense from a storyline perspective. They still have bad blood. There's unresolved issues, and as for the match itself, it's actually pretty solid. I thought.
Yeah, it was,
Um,
I believed.
yeah, yeah.
And
It kind
as
of
as blowing off goes, I was well relieved afterwards.
the only thing I could complain about, which is just nitpicking, is just kind of the 1,000 referee bumps that
Yeah,
happen one after the other. The overbooking of referee bumps
That's
TNA
TNA.
that led to
overbooking referee.
yeah I know it's TNA signature. I know, but
TNA's got a
Storm
button
interfering.
backstage that it's like you press a button,
Yeah,
the
push
referee
for a
bumps,
referee.
and then you press
Yes.
another one and somebody bleeds.
And but Storm getting cost by Rude, I think it's a good direction for their next pay per view. I mean, that's probably a decent big draw enough match for the show. Gives Storm something to do, gives Rude something to do, and it lets them finally finish a feud that's never really been resolved. So yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch, and seeing Bully Ray like advance in the series was fun while it lasted.
Yeah.
Gave me some hope.
Yeah, Bully Ray's advancement in the Bound for Glory series lasted longer than a sex session with me.
I'm not surprised. Then we had the Knockouts Championship, Tessmacher against Tara, that whole student versus teacher kind of thing going on. Tessmacher beats Tara, and it looked like she was kind of pissed off, but maybe it wasn't necessarily because she kayfabe lost the match, but maybe she was pissed off at the crowd because they were awful in this
Does
match.
anyone want to know what happens on this week's Impact with Tara and Tess Knockers?
It's a good name for her. What is it? She
Basically, she turned heel on her. So that was planting the seeds, even though the crowd was fucking shit for this match.
Awful crowd. There's a bigger fucking crowd listening to us do the show right now than there was paying attention to
that. Impact Zone crowds always suck.
Yeah.
For the most part, they always said they have better crowd reactions when they leave the Impact Zone. So this is awesome for one flip.
Yeah.
Like 1 minute into the match. Anyway, this is still better than, any Divas match that could probably be put on within the last bit of the year from WWE, so I give them credit for that.
Especially
any showing of athleticism or wrestling ability is enough for me to say, is enough for me to say it was decent and, didn't bore me to tears, at least kept me watching, even if the crowd was shit.
Right.
So still better than anything the Divas could put on, and that's at least worth commending.
The best possible thing with this upcoming Layla versus Caitlyn match is if they just strip. That's it. I mean,
let's see the goods.
Yeah, they can't possibly match up to the Knockouts match that they just had here, and it's
I can't. Like when we actually get into talking about that match, I can't stress enough who's gonna make more botches, Caitlyn or Sin Cara in the Intercontinental title match. It'll be pretty big. We'll have to do like a wager. Who's gonna fuck up more?
We'll bet.
You just fucked up. You just fucked up.
I'm confident that Sin Cara will work a cleaner match.
The next thing we had was Hulk Hogan flipping out backstage because Bobby Roode, they were handcuffing him and Storm attacked him.
And then Storm gets arrested for attacking somebody who's being arrested, and they both get sent out of the building.
Get him out of here.
Yeah.
Get him out of here.
Brother. They broke Hulk Hogan.
You just ruined the Bound for Glory series, Rude. You're getting arrested. You're spending the night in jail.
Yeah, brother.
Then we had Austin Aries versus Armbreaker. That was weird, man. That was almost as awkward.
It was a segment, but it was him performing wrestling moves, but it was a fight.
Yeah, it was just awkward as hell.
That's the best way to. Yeah, it was awkward as hell. And then, he's about to unmask him, and then the rest of the members come out, and then the brigade of TNA superstars just run out and chase off the aces and eights, and
somehow
that was
about it. Jeff Hardy gets injured.
Yeah, by being thrown into a ring post, a tiny little ring post shot. I forgot. Yeah, that was something significant that happened. They hurt Jeff.
Yeah,
or maybe it's not because considering who it happened to. But the segment was very weird. It was very awkward, but I guess it did a good job of building the storyline more. I guess. Armbreaker. That's got to be the best name in the history of wrestling personas. I'm glad he took the time to take a pre-match photo shoot for the pay-per-view. Like when they hyped up the fight, it's like it shows like the Armbreaker and then Aries in like the pre-match or pre-fight graphic and no surrender. I'm glad he took the time. The Outsider took the time to pose for that photo.
It's Scott Hall.
Courteous of him.
We had the X Division Championship. Zema Ion defeats Sonjay Dutt. I expected a little better, honestly, but I mean, it wasn't like annoying or anything. The only annoying thing about it was the crowd woke up a little bit from this, and they woke up in a really bad way, where the biggest thing I could hear from the crowd was this one shrieking female. I don't know if you paid attention to that too, but it was this like dead crowd, and then every once in a while just like bah! And it was just, oh my god, the person that was sitting
Thank
next
God
to
I
her,
didn't notice.
yeah, it drove me nuts the entire match, because if I would have been sitting next to her, you would have heard in the middle of that like a screech and then shut the fuck up. Yeah, exactly.
Shut up, you whore!
Yeah, it probably would have caught on.
Shut up, you whore!
Or you to shut the cunt up. Yeah, like
Super
Hey.
Dragon!
Yeah.
Super Dragon!
I actually thought it was pretty close to being the match of the night. For me personally, I was very entertained by this match. I thought they did a really good job considering, middle of the show, X Division title. There's a big tag team title match. The Bound for Glory series is going on. You weren't really expecting a whole lot, but with the time they did have, I thought they impressed.
Once they started
Certainly
flipping
better
around,
than the
I thought
match.
it's pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. Classic X Division flip and flops. I thought it was really good. I enjoyed the match immensely.
And he anally violated his chest.
What? Did that happen during this match? I don't remember about that.
It would have made it more interesting. I'm not trying to Zema Ion, and Zema Ion could go suck my cock.
Oh, right. Yeah, he did almost cripple someone earlier this year. You still
And
take
gets
that.
rewarded with a fucking X Division title.
And he's using that as a catchphrase now. Something about like
What I cripple people?
that's something like breaking necks and turning heads or something like that, or I forget what it is, but it's like,
Oh, I know he's been using it.
.com.
He's been using the Jesse situation to give himself heat. He must be, or else he wouldn't be getting that badly booed. Although that hairstyle deserves to get booed that bad, but that's beside the point.
When he sits there, when he walks in to have his breakfast, boo! Mum, can I have a sit? Boo!
then we had
And then came the mediocrity of the night.
Magnus and RVD.
Yes, Magnus and RVD.
I noted it was kind of funny. Like, this was the match that the crowd really like started to wake up on, and I was like, really? You have the X Division guys flipping around, and you're kind of like, huh.
They only wake up for Van Dam.
And then it's like, Magnus.
Oh, Van Dam!
Yeah.
The whole epic show!
I hate that theme song.
I know,
I
I
think-
do too.
Which theme song?
RVD's.
Oh yeah, the scream everything.
Right.
I used to use Breaking Point. I shouldn't be using this bullshit theme. Yeah.
Maybe we should.
Rob Van Dam.
Just do that. Oh man, Smack Talk, fucking other outro. Like,
And I hate like the whole like little Van Daminator.
yeah.
Van Daminator. It's like shut the fuck up. That's a terrible theme. You could do much better. I mean, your Titantrons are terrible enough. You could at least produce James Storm equivalent music for these guys, okay? Seriously. The best theme in all of TNA for sure.
And you know what? I hate country music, and I still have to admit that that's the best theme.
That's a great theme song for it fits them perfectly.
Going out against
The best theme in TNA. But yeah, I thought this is the match I paid the least attention to. Van Dam wins, and they pulled going into the match. They pulled the whole pseudo Ziggler Jericho thing where Magnus is going around. He goes up to Van Dam and he's like, are you still the same Van Dam anymore? Oh, you lost the Bound for Glory series opportunity. Can you really do it anymore? And then like they fight, and then that leads to a filler pay-per-view match from one segment. And Van Dam wins, and yeah, it was okay. Nothing terrible.
What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, that match was shit.
Yeah, mediocrity of the night for sure.
Something better than Magnus versus Van Dam. Magnus is green. No matter how much they try to fucking push him, it's like they're pushing the wrong Brit. You send the guy who's worth a fucking damn down to fucking OVW. You know who I'm talking about, Mr. Douglas Williams himself.
They were talking Rob Terry.
They sent him down to fucking train people and leave the shit one on TNA's roster.
You go back to doing gladiators.
Right.
What's on that, right?
Scrub the fucking floors. He's bonking Mickey James. Maybe she should teach him how to be hardcore fucking country.
Wasn't he like a
God.
gladiator, like kind of like a Farouk when he first came in?
Yeah, his gladiator name was shit.
Was Magnus
No,
Assad?
I mean, he used to be on British Gladiators, like the game show.
Oh,
He
like
used to be like a gladiator, you know, like
That's why
American
he was dressed
gladiators.
up like a gladiator. That's
there you
not
go.
why
His
he was
You
like
know,
his-
Dixie
so
Carter
his
and all
gimmick
her
should have been
wrestlers.
that he brought those fucking sticks, the joust things. Just brings out of the ring, have a joust match. The fucking what do they call that one thing? That little swing that they do. I don't remember. I haven't watched that show since it sucked.
since it bombed. But
Right.
Anyway,
Anyway, the tag team championship. We had Daniels and Kazarian against AJ Styles and Kurt Angle. The tag team
Easily the
champs
fucking
retain.
match of the night, and Angle's fucking injured.
Yeah, not bad at all.
yeah, especially for Kurt being hurt, he did way more than I thought he was going to do. I thought Styles was going to have to carry like basically the whole match, but Kurt pulled out some pretty good stops for injuring himself again.
You know what I have to say?
I like how they always play it off like he trains too hard. Every time he gets hurt, it's like, oh, the man trains so hard, he ends
know
up
what?
injured, and he still comes out here and kicks ass. It's
I
like, could
ended
you
up
just say
in
that the guy
A&E,
injured himself? Fuck.
Ended up in A&E where I had a bad neck, a swollen back, and I still managed to wank. Beat that Kurt Angle.
But you notice that though, it's like every time like he has to wrap up his leg, it's like, oh, the guy trains so hard, and he trains so hard he hurts himself, and he still goes out there and beats half the roster.
And it takes Taz
Yeah, we get it.
15 times to actually say it correctly.
Yeah,
That
Taz
trains.
loose.
He trains like a beast. The beast. He hurts himself because the beast hurts. And how many times did he fucking in the main the first match of the night?
I think he did kind of go like that when he was calling that whole or praising Kurt Angle.
He did it with
Yeah.
the first Jeff Hardy and Samoa Joe match. He said like 10 times in a row, you don't want to empty the tank, over and over again. He's like, yeah, because you empty the tank and the tank's empty. And it was just like, all right, Taz, come on, just fucking say.
And when it's empty, it's no longer a tank, and his tank is empty, so
And then
it's tankless because it's so empty.
And
It's
then
like,
you get the
we get it.
Then you need to get the E-tanks from Mega Man and like.
Okay, Taz, we get it. All right.
Uh,
But yeah, the match
We
itself,
get it. We get it.
pretty
Taz.
awesome.
We get the fact that you're shit.
Yeah.
I think this is the official match of the night, though. I think we can all agree on that.
Right.
In terms of like in-ring action and wrestling, definitely the best. It actually got a pretty good amount of time too.
Taz said, "Let the pitchers loose."
Well, you know what else was funny that he used to say was when he tried to say enigmatic assholes. I love that name. The I'm just gonna call them assholes. Oh my god, I let my ass off when he did that. He flat out says he loves the name and then he can't pronounce it. I'll just fucking call them assholes.
Yeah, that's when.
I missed
Was
it.
that the team of Jeff and Anderson?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, Taz.
It was at this point in the night that
Insipid commentary.
it was at this point in the night that I realized, why is the No Surrender logo the Captain America shield?
Because it looks good. All right, Tony?
Shouldn't that be like their July 4th pay-per-view or something like that? Like
No,
Bash at the Beach type of thing, or like, Great American Bash. And
What? I've had enough. I've had enough.
Nobody ever
Don't
uses
insult
it.
TNA
Ever
to
uses a
its glory.
pro-American poster in September. We're gonna do that.
Yeah.
It's
That'll
just
separate-
so out there.
People say
Yeah,
copy WWE all the time. Well, we're gonna do it in fucking November.
Yeah, Tony. Yeah.
That
September,
was,
not even.
yeah. Everybody's doing pumpkins. We'll do Stars and Stripes.
Yeah, it's not even Thanksgiving where we can actually celebrate to be America because it was found out. We're doing it in September. Fuck October. Fuck November. Fuck anything else. 4th of July, September. Yeah. Oh, great logo.
That led us to the last part of the night where the security surrounded the area and we had Bully Ray against Jeff Hardy, which the security didn't come into an effect at all. So I don't know. But
He just stood there and watched like the audience.
yeah. And Jeff Hardy wins. I was rooting for Bully Ray, so I was disappointed with that.
Yeah. I was
Sort of
extremely.
whale.
I felt very disappointed that Jeff went over Bully Ray. I thought it was obvious, especially with Jeff coming out injured. Like, he had a worked injury, and he kicked out of every single finisher by every 3,000 finishers that Bully Ray hit in the match. He kicked out of, and then Super Jeff with like a final swanton picks up the victory. The match was decent. They had a better match if you ever go around and watching Impact. They had a better match in the main event this week. Same outcome. Spoilers. Even though it already aired. But that's because Jeff wasn't working, pretending to work hurt. You know, he recovered within that whole 5 days.
Yeah.
So, but here he was working injured, so it got pretty slow at some parts. You know, Bully targeting the injury, this, that, and the other. Decent way to end the show, but ended it on kind of a sour note because, in my opinion, the wrong guy went over.
Did Bully Ray work as like a babyface on Impact?
He did, yeah. He was kind of. It's a weird thing. Every time Aces and Eights appeared, the heels and faces joined together, and it just looked really shit.
Huh. Yeah, I thought that was kind of odd that they were at the pay-per-view. They were kind of making him look like he was doing a turn or something, but I thought maybe that was going to turn into something, and then they'd switch it back or whatever, but nope, Jeff wins.
Yeah. Bully goads him into getting a title shot on Impact and is bullying him, and he's pretty well still very much a heel on this week's show too, and same outcome, so it was really kind of pointless. Well, unless it leads to something.
Bully Ray needs the title, though, I think. I think he needs it.
Yeah, I think he needs the title too. I mean, he's on the biggest role of his entire career.
Yeah.
I agree.
And the best heel in the
I think
company.
he deserves it. Yeah, by far. And to reinvent yourself that good and to change your entire career around, I think that needs to be commended. And I'll be disappointed if he doesn't win the title, at least by the end of this year or early next year. I mean, they've had so long to put it on him, and they just haven't. So we can hope.
Bully Ray versus Rock, Royal Rumble.
After the last two pay-per-views
from
TNA, this one was pretty average. Hardcore Justice and Destination X are better, in my opinion. Kind of a show going into Bound for Glory.
Agreed.
Thumbs in the middle sort of show rather than thumbs up.
Any last thoughts, Mike?
Yeah, overall the show was kind of shit.
All right, then we're going to go into the YouTube pre-show for the Night of Champions pay-per-view predictions, and then kind of roll on and go through the rest and blah, 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 blah. You know how this thing goes. If you're not, then go back and watch the other episodes. Do it.